This time on the OSMcast, In the Name of the Moon will podcast about you, Sailor Moon. Yes, this is the OSMcast. Hey folks, we're the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome. I'm Basil.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Douglas.
And that's us. So how are we doing today?
I'm good, I think.
Good. Weather's been fun lately. It's been classic Alabama. It rains, it pours, it's sunny, then it rains some more type of weather. It was adventure getting Kevin.
Yeah. It actually, it's kind of weather that was messing with my sinuses a little, but, you know. It's,
So, anything exciting going on lately? We actually, I don't know when these are going to go up, but we actually are recording a whole week after our last recording.
Yeah. No, the real irony is they went up in opposite order that we recorded them, but that would be...
I really hope not. Anna's already halfway done editing the Agretzico podcast.
Yeah.
So, that would be bad.
You've already heard that one. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just 1 week later, we're jumping into this podcasting thing hard again. Yeah, it's
honestly, doing this in the afternoon has done really well for us.
So far.
Like, we're still awake and refreshed and willing to talk. It's pretty good. Speaking of, so, how's Minecraft Watch?
Minecraft is going good. Minecraft Watch is happening. Just recently, all my villagers turned, they were all huddled together in this one little house for some reason. And lightning struck right next to it and turned them all into witches.
So that's how that works.
Evidently.
Okay, now, what does that mean if you have a witch in Minecraft?
Witches are bad in Minecraft. They throw potions at you, like harmful potions that do bad things. It's not good.
I see.
Is there perhaps some way to construct some sort of stake you can set fire to, with perhaps them adjacent to it?
What?
I'm asking if you can burn witches at the stake.
That's a creative way to go about that problem. I will have to give that a try. I just killed them with arrows.
Yeah, but that's you can kill anybody with an arrow. How do you know they're actually witches? It's
Well, because they go.
Oh well, that's a good indicator.
Well, that's pretty good. So, Kevin, what have you been doing in Minecraft?
Not a thing. Watching Doug play Minecraft, because I know jack about Minecraft, and somehow watching Doug play Minecraft, I always get to a point where I almost want to play it, and then it kind of fades by the time I've actually gotten home.
Just as well.
Or, I go play a little more of the new No Man's Sky, which is old No Man's Sky that actually works as advertised in the first place.
So you enjoying that?
Decently. I mean, it's not like I'm diving deep back into it, but it's like, oh, hey, this is a thing that works. I can kill a few hours doing this,
Nice. Pokemon news. As it turns out, Venusaur is a toad!
Venusaur is a toad?
Yes, apparently it is so. And during one of the latest Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu videos, they were showing off because Pokemon can hop, and walk behind you. Mm-hmm. And they showed a video of Venusaur, and Venusaur was totally hopping around like a toad.
I just thought he was some sort of mutant plant dinosaur monstrosity that probably should be destroyed by rational people, but instead they're allowed to flourish because they can shoot the power of the sun out their backs.
Well, as it turns out, A, there are Pokemon biologists who are very excited about this news. B, let me repeat, there are Pokemon biologists. I saw this in a story from usgamer.net. Also, apparently, the Japanese name for Venusaur is actually just Fushigi Bana, which just means strange flower. But in Mandarin, it's Oh, I can't pronounce that word at all. But it says the name translates to wonderful frog flower. So I guess it's been out there all this time.
I always kind of secretly liked Venusaur out of the original starter Pokemon anyways. I mean, I know Charizard's kind of the go-to, but I don't know. There was something charming about Venusaur and his deadly solar death ray.
And then on the drive over to pick you up, Doug had mentioned an interesting idea.
What?
About the three starters in the original Pokemon generation. One being a salamander or a newt, one being a turtle, the other one being a frog.
Was that really an idea or not more just like an observation?
Okay, then Doug made a really interesting observation on the way to pick up Kevin.
Yeah, that the three starters were a frog, a toad, and like a salamander.
The traditional 3 things a random Japanese boy would take home to go, can I keep it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Consider that was sort of the initial idea was that the guy behind Pokemon was into bug collecting and creature collecting and stuff. And it suddenly makes a lot of sense that you would be taking home a toad versus a dinosaur.
Yeah. I mean, that works. That works.
All right, Kevin. I think it's time. Let's switch it up. It's time for the Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood Minute. Or is it the Monster Hunter Minute? Because Rathalos is in Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is Behemoth is in Monster Hunter. The world is all topsy-turvy. You can fight Behemoth in one thing. You can find Rathalos in the other. It's a strange crossover world we live in, Kevin.
But suddenly in Final Fantasy XIV, there's a talking cat. Well, I mean, more than there were.
Ignore Kate Shee, which is also both in 7 and 14. That is also a talking cat. Of course, that one's a mythical creature of mythos, whereas this is a palico, which clearly is just it's a species in Monster Hunter, but now also apparently in Final Fantasy, where you hook up with one of them and they're like, hey, let's go fight a Rathalos, and you're like, okay, I like fighting giant monsters.
Yeah. That sounds like a fun thing to do.
And then you do, and if you need a heal, you got your mega potions with the weird running animation that you're locked into. If you die in the game, you die for real in the game. It's a fun time. So what's your experiences in Monster Hunter and Final Fantasy XIV, Kevin?
I have none. I don't have an active 14 subscription, and I've barely played any Monster Hunter ever.
All right, Kevin. You're useless to me on this particular topic. You're very useful to me in other ways. But Doug and I, we fought a Rathalos the other night.
Yep.
It was fun.
Is it super tough or
No. So it cannot be tanked. So I tanked.
Now, other things happen during the battle where it's still helpful to have a tank.
Yeah.
Now, there is 2 versions of the fight. There's the basic one, the basic fight, which is an 8-man, and then there's an extreme, which is a 4-man, which is a weird inverse of what you normally see in a Final Fantasy trial fight.
Yeah.
But the idea is that in Monster Hunter, you only have 4 people in a party. So therefore, the extreme Rathalos fight is actually even more Monster Hunter-y. So you have only 4 people. It is very much untankable. Mm-hmm. There's elements of tanking in the 8-man, but there's none in the 4-man.
It just goes after whoever the hell it wants.
Right. Yeah. Also, healing is useless halfway through the fight in normal. It's just useless in the 4-man. And you have your Mega Potion, that's the only way you can heal.
Ugh.
Also, in the normal, you can die and be raised. However, in the extreme, you get 3 deaths total, and then it's over.
Ooh.
So, and the extreme is, in fact, harder. But there are moments, like halfway through the fight, you actually get to mount the monster and do like the famous stabbing animations from the game. You actually, when you finish the fight, you actually have to, quote-unquote, carve off pieces of the monster. And that's actually your turn-ins.
Oh my.
for items. Like, so they definitely went pretty far into making this about as much. There's Monster Hunter sound effects.
Yeah.
The palicos when they actually make their cat noises, it's the palico cat noises, which does in fact eerily sound like cat noises for reals.
Yeah, I have seen video of people like the new Monster Hunter game and like doing their little palico voice checks, like selecting the palico voices and having their cats being like, "What is that?" and going over the TV and even like kind of swatting at it.
Well, now that I own a cat, and I was hearing those noises, I'm like, oh my god, you sound like my cat.
Yeah.
This is getting kind of creepy, Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how creepy. But no, it's been a good time. It's been a good time. I'm also the new thing of Eureka has opened up, Pagos, and that is a Eurekan good time, or at least a time in Eureka. We're not quite sure how it's going to play out in this particular version of Eureka just yet. It's only this is Wednesday. The Tuesday yesterday was the day this patch opened up, so this is pretty fresh content, at least for us talking about it. Who knows when this episode's going out, but at the time of me talking, it's brand new, fresh content, and we don't know. The last area of Eureka turned into what people refer to as the train would roll around, where you would go from fate to fate to fate to fate, fighting the big monsters in those fates.
Like you do.
And that's how you get the majority of your experience. Well, in this one, people aren't doing that yet. Now, I don't know if that's because there's not as many. I don't know if the train's just not viable, or if we were just so early into it.
Nobody knows where to go yet.
And there's no real train to happen yet. But the train might happen later. Who knows? But thankfully, this is going to be a pretty... as we keep this going, there's lots of 14 stuff coming down the pipe. As we're hitting the 5th anniversary, so of course there's the Rising and the Summer event, and who knows what else is going to happen. So yeah, that's been your Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood Minute. Which means Moments of Awesome.
It's a moment of awesome.
Kevin, what's awesome?
A lot of things are awesome, I guess, hypothetically. Things are awesome. Is this more of an assumption of awesome?
Okay. Well, what's the song ditty for that?
It's an assumption. I don't have a good one yet.
Okay.
But, no, it's because, I'm going to buy it tomorrow when I get paid, but, there's a novel, Bitfrost, by Sam Farron, the author to the Dragonoak Trilogy, which I know you read.
Yeah.
It's her new book, and it's out today, and I'm going to buy it tomorrow when I actually have money. But I've been kind of waiting for this to come out because it sounds like this weird, icy, post-apocalyptic fantasy world with a protagonist who's apparently has a really shoddy memory but is desperately writing down anything she can find to like record the history of her dying world. And I presume somewhere along the line lesbian romance happens because that's what the author's all about.
Question. I don't know if I remember or not. Did we ever talk about the Dragonoak?
I don't think we did on the podcast, no.
Well, how about you talk about the Dragonoak Trilogy?
That's why I'm excited about this book, yes, because the Dragonoak Trilogy, which I literally found by typing lesbian genre fiction into Twitter. And I found hey, my book is free today on Twitter, or free today on Amazon, like the first volume. I'm like, well, free is the exact right price. And, I read it, and I went, this is really good. And I ended up buying the other two books almost immediately, and they are each one kind of progressively longer. But it's a sort of magical fantasy world. It's not especially different from most magical fantasy worlds you might run into, other than just, it's super inclusive of queer persons of all variety. And the main character's main struggle is not so much can she overcome evil with her incredible magical powers, because she could, but can she do it while getting past her crippling social anxiety and without being a horrible person in the process. Because she has incredible necromantic powers that she tries really hard not to use, or at least find ethical applications for.
Because in this setting, everyone thinks that if you're a necromancer, you're an ultimate demon lord of evil demonness.
Yeah. One necromancer raises a dragon person army to destroy a kingdom, and suddenly you're all bad. I mean, come on. Also, it's got cool dragon people in the story.
It's got cool dragon people. It's got a really cool night lady.
Yeah.
Who's pretty awesome. I really like, was it the other lady who was really fun to talk to?
Requisite weird foreign mercenary character whose name I should remember, like best character in the book.
Yeah, like she's got like the most personality out of everybody in the world ever. Rolled into one, she's got more of it, and she's like, yeah, everyone wants me. It's fine. There is lots. I am like stew. You can always have more stew. You can always have more of me, or something like that. I was like, okay, yeah, you're really awesome. All right.
But
you're boss.
I do have kind of an like, I did read somewhere the author saying that she wanted to write a story where the worst things queer people had to worry about was dragons. So it was that's kind of what it is. But it was really entertaining. I honestly relate maybe more than I should to the protagonist with her terrible, crippling social anxiety issues. It's like, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on this one. Like, maybe not as bad, but I get some of this. I get some of this really good. And so I'm like, okay, I will definitely. There are a few random typos here and there in the book. It's very much self-published, but you can get the whole trilogy on Amazon. And I'm like, but it's like, it was entertaining enough that I'm like, I will read whatever you write next. Yes. And I'm hoping that the new book will be good.
Meanwhile, and in sort of the same fantasy realm, the game that I've been playing most of lately has been Octopath Traveler, which I think Kevin's also been playing.
Yes, I need to go back and play more of that. Like, I'm not remotely done with it. I've just not played in several days.
Yeah, same. I'm really into it, but for some reason I haven't. Well, there's a new Hearthstone expansion. I wanted to wrap up the current Granblue thing because today's when the Love Live event starts.
Oh yeah. Be sure to post pictures of your team with your Love Live girl surrounded by all kinds of guys. And make sure it gets to all the Japanese players.
That's true. It's kind of why I'm ready because apparently you could recruit like 9 Love Live characters.
I don't even know who these people. Well, I can't say I don't really know them, like, in terms of in-depth. There's a few I definitely recognize, because Love Live is just such a prolific fandom that you see some of these characters no matter what. If you're at all into anime, you will have seen some of them.
I'm the same, but after hearing the Japanese guys, like, why would waifus be with guys? And I'm like, I'm going to have to level up guys just to go along with the waifus. Like, come on.
I get if you want your anime girls to get together with other anime girls. I empathize with. But if you're just worried they're going to talk to guys who aren't you, you lost me. I'm not there anymore.
Idols are awesome. Idol culture is terrible.
Yes, it is.
Similar to some of the terrible things that happen to our characters in Octopath Traveler.
Yeah. Well, it depends on I guess they all have a little bit of tragedy in their stories.
Well, some more than others.
Yeah, definitely. Although I like Primrose versus like the cleric lady is like. They have the cleric lady has such a lighthearted second chapter, and Primrose has a really dark second chapter, and a pretty dark first chapter for that matter.
Okay, so just quick basics. Octopath Traveler, it's developed by Square Enix Business Division 11, along with Studio Acquire. The Business Division 11, their job is, they're the same producers that made the Bravely Default series, and I think their whole job now is to make interesting role-playing games that aren't Final Fantasy.
Somebody needs to.
And so far, they have succeeded very well. I think they're also secretly like the winning underdogs that Square keeps like undervaluing because Bravely Default did super well. Bravely Second did super well. and they weren't expecting it to. Octopath Traveler, they had very low expectations. It's doing super well. It's already sold 1 million units worldwide.
Yeah, it was number 1 on the e-store for quite a while.
Yeah, like it's doing super well. There are shortages of the cartridge in Japan.
Yeah.
It's doing super good, and now they're like, oh, I guess they need to make them more games like this.
That's just how hungry the gamers are for a traditional JRPG, apparently.
Well, for the longest time, Division 11 exists because they thought that they had to make more Western style games, and they just really wanted to make like a traditional Japanese style role playing game. And it turns out, yes, we want those too. And now they're like, oh,
yes, give me that sweet, sweet turn-based combat with 3 to 6 party members.
Especially if it's 4 or more, that's a sweet spot.
Actually, yes, I prefer at least 4. I'm a little tired of the 3-people parties. I want at least 4. I'll take 3, but I prefer 4. Wouldn't mind a Suikoden 6 once in a while. But
7's too much.
7's too many. Yeah, 7's too many. Unless you just build it in a really strange way I haven't seen before. Like you'd have to balance. You'd have to be really good at your balancing to make that work.
So you do get 8 characters. And the best way to think about this game, it's not that you're doing one giganto game that is filled with 8 characters and you're going through all these characters and they're all interacting with each other. No. Think of like 8 mini RPGs that's set in a larger, cohesive world. And you're going through different chapters for each character. And you have the other characters are with you as far as fighting stuff goes.
Assuming you go and get them, I don't think you could get. I mean, I almost don't see how you can avoid it, but and I don't know why you wouldn't. But I guess there's nothing making you pick up a character. You could try to go through all of one character's chapters. I don't recommend it. That sounds suicidal, or for the kind of people who like to beat the original Final Fantasy with just one white mage. But not that I'm calling anybody out.
Look, that was a different time, and we were like all 8.
Yeah,
and we had time for things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas this game, it's designed such that you get your 8 people. You might need after that point, you might need to do a little bit of grinding, but then you can start doing people's chapter 2s.
Yeah.
And while you're heading out to chapter 2s, there's weird side dungeons that don't actually have any plot. They're just dungeons filled with tougher monsters that you can go through if you want. And if you do, you'll be clearly leveled for the next set of chapters. And I think that's sort of the idea, is that you do everyone's chapters. By the time you're done, theoretically, you'll be mostly leveled enough to
then take on the next set of chapters.
And there might be some grinding here and there, but it seems overall decently well balanced.
And if you poke your nose around, you can find cool stuff and, extra classes to kind of diversify your characters by giving them the abilities of another character.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I don't want to go too much in detail because I have a feeling that could be
it might be
a full-fledged OSMcast in the future. So we are going to take a break and go right into talk about the Sailor Moon movies. And there's 3 of them, so who knows how long this will be. This is the OSMcast. Okay, really? Do I really need to describe what Sailor Moon is? Do I really? Do you think I really need to do that?
Maybe.
Yes.
I mean, the kids don't know who Sailor Moon is anymore.
Yeah, that's my
She's
point.
she turned 40. It's. I mean, the actual show isn't that old. I just mean, by the date she was born, Sailor Moon would be like 40 by now.
Okay, so back in 1991 in December, a mangaka known as Naoko Takeuchi started this manga series called Sailor Moon. Kevin, what's Sailor Moon about, really? I mean, really?
Really? I feel like it's an examination of the dichotomy of what society expects of us versus what we can actually accomplish. And that, sometimes there's more to us than what the world tells us there is.
Awesome. That's deep, man. How does Sailor Moon actually achieve this?
Because she's a whiny little crybaby who gets magical powers and then becomes queen of the universe.
All right, that's valid.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's a kind of... I'd say it's your typical magical girl show, but that's because it kind of made the stereotype, at least of the modern magical girl.
Yeah, I will feel. I mean, it's it's not Sally the Witch or anything,
Well,
but but it is. I think it's sort of as much as like I refer to sort of as Tenchi Muyo as the Super Mario Brothers of harem shows. Like Super Mario Brothers was not the first platformer.
No.
But it is the platformer that sort of redefined the mold of what a platformer should be in video games.
Yeah, I mean, Sailor Moon owes definitely, like, what you would call a magical girl show. Before that would have been things like Sally the Witch or Minky Momo, Majoko Tickle, a few other ones. But, just kind of, it's a cute girl who somehow has magical powers and stuff happens, usually mostly humorous. We'll take a little injection of, like, Cutie Honey and, like, Sentai shows, and then it's like, you got Sailor Moon, who's a magical girl, part of a team of magical girls who fought monsters with their magic powers to protect the Earth. And that's really it in a nutshell.
And it's very much a phenomenon. Like it was, in the 90s and even early 2000s, and frankly, even now with the whole Crystal series, it really has, had new life to it.
Sailor Moon was part of a safe sex campaign of just a few years ago, I think, in Japan. It was like, Sailor Moon says, always use a condom.
Now, is that how you get Chibi-Usas?
Well, no, but you want to make sure you get Chibi-Usas when you want Chibi-Usas, not beforehand.
Good point.
I mean, we see what happens when there's too much Chibi-Usa.
So, this also, of course, had a huge 200-episode TV series that was directed by a myriad of episode directors and showrunners and what have you. And from that, the anime ran from March of 1992 to February of 1997.
Yeah, the original series.
Yeah, so, was it 5 series?
Yeah, 5 separate series with, like, the original run, not Crystal. But
right. And, as a part of that TV run, because, again, this is, a legit phenomenon. Like, if you think of anime, even nowadays, a lot of people, at least of our age, there is, you're going to have as many people mention it as Sailor Moon as you do, like, Akira or even Pokemon.
Yeah. And it did make its way to US TV in its own meandering, badly dubbed format.
But what didn't at first were these, like, 3 different movies. Sailor Moon, the movies R, S, and SuperS. Which is going to be the topic of our discussion today, whatever time you're listening to this.
Yeah, since they seem to have magically found their way into U.S. theaters recently.
And it was neat. Fathom Events, along with Viz Media, they actually put the movies in theaters again, and Doug and I were fortunate enough to actually be able to go see them in the theater.
Yeah, was that last year? They also just had R by itself?
Yes.
I saw that in the theaters.
Yeah, that was that. I actually ended up seeing that on my honeymoon with Anna, in Georgia, and that was fun. That one was R plus the little sort of series recap.
Yeah.
Up until that point, they did
like All Our Senshi or something like that. That was just quick little, just really basically exists to tell you who the characters are in case. You have no clue, I suppose, or maybe kids drug their parents there and they're like, I don't know what the Sailor Moon is. Oh, okay. I think I get the basic gist. That tuxedo boy have a boyfriend. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. And then they,
Yes, he did.
But we'll get into it later. So now, so a little bit more background. Anaka Takeuchi, she certainly did make the manga, and that is what everything is based off of.
Yeah.
And that is itself a really great work. It's a fun manga to read. Like, I do really recommend go reading it.
Yes, although the TV series is a wildly expanded version. They definitely had to pad it out to fit the more of a 50-ish episode run.
And that's sort of important because it did allow other creators to sort of help put a little bit of their own footprint into sort of the DNA of the show. Like, for example, I think one of the most important names of it is actually Junichi Sato, who was the very first director of the Utena TV series. He did the first, up until I think halfway through, S.
Sailor Moon series.
In Sailor Moon series, he was.
Yeah. You said Utena.
Oh, well, no, that's somebody else. That's later.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon, Sailor Moon R, and halfway through Sailor Moon S. He was one of the main people behind it. And he's done other stuff, he worked on, his own things, things like Magic Users Club or Doremi. He's also one of the main people that have worked on, Pretty Cure, including the latest one.
Which is kind of the spiritual successor to Sailor Moon in many ways.
He's also worked on other things like Goldfish Warning and Princess Tutu and Kaleidostar. He has done some really, really neat things throughout the years, and I'm pretty sure he sort of set the TV style blueprint for Sailor Moon that all the other directors eventually sort of riffed on, and one of them was one of the major things that sort of started him off, Kunihiko Ikehara, who people who have been listening to OSMcast should know that we absolutely adore. Well, I know he is probably my favorite director.
He's a trip. I say that like he's not the Utena movie is my favorite movie of all time, so I guess he's my favorite director.
He started with from Sailor Moon, he went to Utena. He also did Penguin Drum, which we did a very pretty fun OSMcast on. He also worked on a Yuri Kuma Arashi, Yuri Bearstorm, which
probably should do an OSMcast on
at some point, but I do not feel well equipped enough to really understand the intricacies of being gay in Japan to really have the sort of commentary necessary.
True.
To really dig into that show.
Is Ikuhara gay?
Question mark?
That's a good question. I know that he has cosplayed as Sailor Mars before, and when he has cosplayed as Sailor Mars, as far as he was concerned, he was in fact Sailor Mars. You were not talking to Ikehara, storied, anime director. No, you were talking to Savior of the Universe, Sailor Mars. Average, typical magical high school girl.
So if you were to put money on him being some variety of LGBTQ, etc., you'd probably be a safe bet.
Because he has, throughout all of his works, he's had some element of that in it, and Japan doesn't typically include an element of that in it, so it does make me wonder.
Yeah, given a general kind of feeling of everybody's bi in most of his works, it's, yeah, I don't know.
Well, even in other works, it's very, subtle nuance things that aren't always, fan service-y.
Right. Yeah, no, if he's not, he must have his finger on the pulse of that culture somehow. It's he must be intertwined in there in some way, even if he himself is not specifically gay or bi or any of the other options. But,
and the other one, the major director, probably in talking in, as far as conjunction Sailor Moon goes, is Hiroki Shibata, who, as far as I can tell, seems like, well, if you need episodes of anime directed, he can direct those, or she can direct those animes for you. Because this person has worked on things like Getorobo, Gege no Kitaro in the 1980s and 1990s. He or she worked on episodes of, lately, Tiger Mask W.
I think it's a he, but I could not tell you for absolute certain.
Worked on things like a lot of the Digimon episodes, some of the Cute Annie Flash episodes, Kiriko Man episodes.
Just, go to, man, who's going to direct our episode this week?
Yeah, this person is very adept at directing your episode for you. Another person really important is Tsukihiro Tomita. And he is the major screenplay writer behind most of the episodes of Sailor Moon and 2 of the movies. And once again, it seems like person, if you need someone to screenwrite your stuff, you can get some screenwriting done out of this person. Like they worked on things like Macross 7, Orange Road, other things that we enjoy here on the OSMcast, Golf Force.
We like Golf Force.
Devil Hunter Yoko.
Oh man, I like Devil Hunter Yoko. That was my first subtitled anime.
Salaryman Kintaro. Wedding Peach. Voice Kreutz, Yu Yu Hakusho. Like, if you need screenwriting done, this person will do stuff for you.
I imagine if you're an established screenplay writer, you got the work coming. You can probably pick your projects to an extent.
Mozia Peta. Majoko Tickle.
Well, there you go.
Ping Pong Club. Let's see. Gearfire Dendo.
That's a show that we never got in the U.S. That was, well, it's like the same guy behind Gundam Seed. It was like the same director as Gundam Seed and Seed Destiny. It was his, if he's the Michael Bay of anime, Gearfire Dendo is his The Rock. It's like the one that's actually good.
Aura Battler Dunbine.
Oh, I love Aura Battler Dunbine.
Sarah Celestial Legend.
That exists.
Dogram.
Oh, I like that. See, this guy's just right. This guy's
Agatha Christie no Minatai Porio to Marple.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm just reading random things that he did on Wikipedia.
It's a Poirot and Miss Marple, like Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
Anime. It exists. It adapts their stories to anime. That's interesting. I'd actually like to see that now that I'm reminded that exists. I don't know. Someone sub that.
And also another screenwriter, which we'll talk about later on, Yoji Inokido.
Yeah, that's one that's
who that person also a story who worked on things like Utena and Star Driver and Host Club and Melody of Oblivion and Captain Earth. And so we will definitely be...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure wrote the screenplay for the Utena movie.
Yeah, so...
You know...
there is definitely some talent here that we'll be talking about. And really, man, there are some things that I'm really interested in seeing what could have been. Like, for example, Sailor Moon R. We know that Ikahara and Okido was, they worked really well with Utena, but they didn't work together on this movie. It was Ikahara with a script. The screenplay was by Tomita. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about it. Sailor Moon R.
Okay, you want to start with the best one first, huh?
Well, if we're going in order, it's still, no matter what we do, it's the first one. This is the story of, well, boy, Ikahara really wanted to get Mars and Moon together. So let's give Mamoru his own boyfriend. Let's see if that works out.
Yeah, well, he just befriended a nice alien boy who was looking like a human on Earth at the time. And it's if anything, I'd say it does a good job of showing that in the flashback that Mamoru is just a nice kid who wants to make friends, and the little alien boy is totally in love with him from moment one.
From moment one. What you'll discover about Ikahara, I feel like his footprint is on this movie from the very ass beginning.
Yeah.
They start off with a movie, and no other movie does this, where it's clearly they're mentioning what they are, each Sailor Scout. I am Sailor Moon, I am blah, 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 blah. I am Sailor Mercury, I am blah, 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 blah. And every time they do, it's clearly they're on a stage. And then they look at the camera, and there's a neat sound effect that goes with it. And they're clearly they're on a stage, and there's shadows on the back curtain.
Yeah.
And you're really getting the vibe of them putting on a performance in a theater. And it's this, because you're watching a movie, and it's a very much a sort of a metaphorical thing that only Ikahara did.
Yeah.
And then in each of these movies, you have a different, opening set to Moonlight Densetsu, which is, the super good opening to Sailor Moon that everyone knows and loves. And man, comparing this opening to any of the other openings is a disservice to them. Because holy crap, he knocked it out of the park. Where you could definitely see like inspirations of like the driving scenes from Utena and the movie already right there. You know, where you're watching like them on this bus and in the background you see like the buildings moving in a really interesting manners to portray the momentum of them driving around, and all the camera angles are moving and they're doing things and everything's in a constant state of flux. And it's very happy and go lucky until the very last moment. Then you see a giant rose, disperse with ominous music. He's like, oh yeah, you thought this was going to be good. Nah, man, this is going to be great.
Roses, man, roses.
And that also sets the opening scene for like them being at this giant,
like a botanical garden.
Botanical gardens, yeah, and they're checking out flowers and this and that, and
just having a good old time.
Wondering if they can really, really punk Sailor Moon and Usagi from getting some good makeouts with Mamoru. And the next thing they know, the big fountain goes out, and suddenly there's Flower Boy being like, "Hey, Mamoru, it's your boyfriend. He be back." Hey, Mamoru. And he does not sound like that at all. Like,
man, he should have. No, that'd be terrible.
Where Usagi immediately goes, back off. This is my boyfriend. You can get a two-step in.
And it's gonna be messy.
And this movie was so good.
It was really good.
He does a magnificent job of interweaving this whole storyline just very neatly into the background of the whole show in sort of a prequel setting, in flashbacks, that makes him totally fit in context of the movie without having to like negate anything else.
Yeah.
So it really feels like this is in fact like a part of the actual Sailor Moon mythos.
Yeah. And it's a super minor point, but it's also like the only movie that doesn't like have canned animation for the special attacks. Like it's the same stock animation that they run for their special attacks. It actually has unique animation for them, even if it's the same old attacks you've seen.
Well, it's true, and they also do it in interesting ways. And just the only thing animation wise that tears this movie down any amount is the sad decision to use early ass CG.
Yeah.
To show off the final battle area.
Yeah, or like the giant flower asteroid or whatever that was. Whatever you want to call it.
The overall animation in the other movies is better, but I feel that is less to do with anything else about the movie. It just technology at the time to do animation.
Plus, it's more about the technology than the execution.
Yeah, and also possibly the budget.
Yeah.
Well, I would also argue, and I was going to get into this into the other movies later, but they're also doing more through animation in R. Yeah. Like, I noticed this especially in S, where everything's on, everything's in still shots.
Yeah.
Like, if you can picture, your movie screen, and there is a picture of, the background, mm-hmm. They're moving on that background, but the background, it never moves.
Yeah.
Or if it does, it's just it's just a pan.
Yeah, Gara loves his background to do things.
Whereas, this movie's constantly, moving. The camera angles are always interesting, and they will move around, and so, there is way more, activeness going on in R versus the other two. And so I kind of wonder if the overall animation in the other ones are better just because
they're trying to do less.
They're not working as hard.
Yeah, they're being less ambitious.
It's they've got better animation technology, so to an extent it looks better in some ways.
But no, I think R was
R looks the most like a movie.
It does. I very much will. I think the other two, they look like super well animated TV shorts.
Yeah.
Or episode 3-parters, whereas R feels like this is a movie. This is a grandiose stage where the Sailor Scouts can really shine, fighting really cool Yoma.
Yeah.
And
like if you were gonna just go see one CR, like if someone has put a curse on you, you can only watch one Sailor Moon movie for the rest of your life, or you will die. Watch R.
And realize we're saying this as really big fans of the Outer Senshi too.
Yes.
Like, we're pretty big fans of the Outer Senshi. They're pretty cool folks, pretty cool ladies, and they're not in this movie because they didn't exist yet.
Oh man. If there's when we get to S, there's more to talk about that.
It's true. Well, are there any momentary before we go into our big spoiler section? Any other thoughts on R before we move on to S?
Super good. Ikuhara doesn't believe in nipples, but Sailor Moon never has, so that's okay.
All right, let's move on to S. The Snow Princess Kaguya, I believe.
Princess Snow Kaguya.
Snow Kaguya, Snow.
I don't know. Those three words exist in some sequence in the title.
So this one was S was directed. This one was done by Shibata. Also screenplay by Tomita. Mm-hmm. And this one is Sailor Moon S the movie, aka Luna's horny for this one.
This was actually based on a manga story, which is kind of weird, but
well, that totally does not surprise me.
Yeah,
like absolutely none at all. Because the storyline in this one is pretty darn good. Like the actual idea of what they're doing with it, although not as interestingly told as R, this one is still like.
This was more Hallmark Sailor Moon.
Yeah. This is definitely my second favorite of the bunch, and R is my favorite just because I'm such a fan of the Ikuhara style. But
so this one is where it's during the winter months, and everyone's having fun doing winter things, and in the entire movie, it feels like everyone's wearing clothing size a little bit too big for them.
That's how you know it's cold.
That's how you know it's cold.
They've got layers.
Yep. And Luna gets sick. And Artemis is like, I could get you home. And Luna's like, psh, whatever, Artemis. No one needs you. And everyone's like, aw, Marshmallow. Okay. So, when we went to go see the movie in the theater, Viz was showing little, customized, like, so you're waiting for the movie. And a lot of times you'll see like little trivia questions for various things and with little previews for upcoming things, like either TV shows or movies and stuff, if you get there before the movie. Well, Viz had their own version of that, where there'd be like Sailor Moon related trivia, as well as commercials for all their box sets. And one of the questions was, they were describing Artemis, and like, what was Artemis's name? And one of the options was Marshmallow. And ever since then, whenever we talk about Artemis, usually my wife Anna or our friend Esther, they now just refer to him as Marshmallow. And during the movie, whenever the myriad times where Luna just shuts Artemis down, and he is all sad and dejected, everyone's like, aw, Marshmallow.
Because, this is a...
It's a little bit of the love dynamic you saw in Agretsuko.
Yeah.
Where...
Yeah, he's obviously super into Luna, and Luna, I don't know, is not especially receptive to this at the moment.
Well, I kind of wonder if this is a case of this. So Luna gets sick, and Luna is taken care of by some astrologian
guy with his magical cards.
Yes.
No.
Astrologist.
Astronomer.
Yes.
He's an astronomer.
And he takes care of her, and she's like, ooh, he's hot.
And in her defense, he is, but that's okay.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, okay, sure, he's got an astronaut girlfriend, but,
Yeah, but for most of the movie, they're really on the rocks.
They are.
Because he has PTSD from previous seasons of Sailor Moon.
He apparently was watching on the moon when Serena fought Queen Beryl.
And he still He's like, no, I felt weird energies coming from the moon. Pretty sure I saw a moon presence at some point on the moon. And they're like, you're crazy, man. You're crazy. And I'm like, no, man, you didn't watch those episodes. You didn't watch those episodes, though. He's legit. He's just got PTSD. You leave this poor boy alone.
Surprised there's not more people running around Tokyo with serious PTSD, and well, every anime series, but Sailor Moon in particular.
Well, in Sailor Moon, they address it specifically that it's part of like the magic of what's going on is that once everything gets restored, like people just forget about it.
Yeah.
It's like how they can't recognize that Serena is Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Boy, I'm glad I read Douglas Adams because it's so easy to just call it somebody else's problem field.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, and of course, there's always some mystical baddie who falls in on an asteroid.
Well,
as they all do.
They all do. Because, well, it fits with Sailor Moon, because in Sailor Moon as a whole, space is terrible, and everything out there wants to kill us.
Yep. Accurate.
And a piece of that fell, and he found it, and now it's making him sick, and there's some crazy, Kaguya, like crazy ice lady who's ready to encase the world in ice. Because that's what she needs to do in life. That's her deal.
Yeah, it's she's got little weirdly cute snow monsters to help her. Like, I don't know, I like their weird little long dress look to them, even though I think that's their actual body is that long dress. But,
and it's more or less how the Senshi Girl's going to get out of this one.
Yeah, but this one has the outers in it.
It does. I mean,
I don't know. You don't know how much I just live for that little brief scene of them, like, in the coffee shop, just kind of like drinking coffee. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty insignificant, but it's like, oh yeah, there they are. They're just doing something in normal life.
Watching the movie, one of the best moments was when Doug's husband Bear goes, who are these girls and why are they competent?
Why are they so much more competent than the others? Who are these three girls and why are they so much more competent than the others?
Yep.
Yeah, sadly, if there's one thing, Crystal has kind of made me forget how generally incompetent Sailor Moon is the majority of the time. Because she is actually fairly competent in the manga and Crystal after a certain point.
Well, it's true. I think it was one of those things where they had way more episodes in the TV series they had to move Sailor Moon up.
Yeah.
To build her up. And so she is kind of doofusy a good portion of the time. And that comes through in the movies as well.
Yeah. And just, the whole purpose of the outers is to show up and bail the inners out of whatever mess they're in. Like, so many times. That's like...
So, Sailor Moon was one of my first anime, if not my first anime, that I was a super huge fan of. But then it's been a while. It's been a while since I've really gone back and watched it. And I have to say, I didn't quite remember until Sailor Moon S. And the S, until we rewatched the S movie. And then suddenly it just all came back. How often Sailor Moon just goes on these little rants that are completely unrelated to, like, the boss.
Yeah.
Like, the boss of Sailor Moon S was like, haha, I'm going to freeze the world! And Sailor Moon goes, the warmth of love! You just want to freeze the world because you don't know what love is! No, I just want to freeze the world! And Sailor Moon just continues to go off on her own tangent.
Where you're seeing pictures from, like, Safari, or, and cute animals, and and the connections of love and grandeur, and she's like, I just want to freeze the world.
What does any of this have to do with love?
Yeah.
And, while we're wishing for stuff.
Oh, yeah, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But, yeah, S was interesting. But, like, I think that's the core of the story, and it does help that it was based off a short story by Takeuchi. But, again, it just wasn't certainly well animated, and it looks perfectly fine.
Mm. It
is not nearly as dynamic, and especially watching it literally like 10 minutes after R.
Yeah.
Really showed me just, well, sorry Shibata, Ikahara is a way better director than you are. Like, Not that Shibata's bad. Again, this movie is
It's a good movie.
It was a good movie. They just had a genius direct the first one.
It was they played it way more safe and way more formula to the show.
And then we have Shibata's second movie and the last one of this trilogy, SuperS or SuperS.
It is a movie that exists.
I think if you like Sailor Moon, you can just skip this movie. If you don't like Sailor Moon, but you're being forced to watch Sailor Moon, you could probably maybe negotiate watching this movie instead of watching the season of SuperS.
Which would probably be your best choice. Oh.
But if this does give you a chance to, in fact, watch Amy's First Love first, as this movie had it,
then,
I actually do like Amy's First Love. It's not...
It's like a 15-minute... I think it's extremely charming. It's extremely... It's actually my... If we include it, if this is like a 4-part thing, this is actually my second favorite.
Yeah, it's really just mostly like Amy's First Love is just like she's getting really obsessed with this other guy who's taking these mock tests who she's never seen his face because the results are published in magazines under pseudonym, and they're just always neck and neck in their scores, and she starts getting super fixated on who this person might be. Because they call themselves Mercurius.
Right. Because she refers to herself as Mercury, because you can use any alias.
Yeah, and it's like, and so it's, she's like, is he calling me out? Does he know who I am? It's like...
Yeah, and so she decides, well, I need to take all the tests. I need to go to all the studies. I need to go to all the cram schools. And so he chooses the one that he goes to, but the wrong one. Where just some random-ass Yoma has just been chilling in this place for probably decades.
Since season 1, probably.
Since season 1. Just waiting for someone to be remotely lovesick. In a cram school.
Yeah.
And she finally finds the one person who's remotely lovesick, and boy, did the Yoma choose wrong.
I don't even know that this Yoma is particularly associated with any bad guy we've seen thus far. I think it could have just been a random Yoma, because, Yoma and yokai are not that different.
Yeah, true. I mean, had the sort of the colorful weirdness of a typical Sailor Moon monster, but no real features that tied it to one specific evil group, and they did sort of have a, like...
Most of them had, like, a thing they were searching for.
Yeah. Or some sort of common visual element that carried over.
Yeah. But not this one. Just a completely random Yoma just accidentally happened into our story.
Yeah, although I will forever be amused that Amy thinks Albert Einstein is absolutely dreamy.
Yeah. That one's really fun. Definitely watch that. Definitely watch that.
It's short. You won't regret it.
And frankly, it's again more dynamic. It's got more interesting, they do more things with the animation.
Oh, yeah.
It.
Amy totally Itano circuses the monster. And it's great.
It's actually a brilliant little bit of animation. I wonder if they just got a big budget because it was a short.
Probably. And
so that one was and man, just having to watch SuperS after watching that, again, it really drills down.
It's just, I don't want to say there's anything technically wrong with the movie.
Okay, the movie was a really good set of episodes for Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
SuperS is a set of episodes for Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with S is it followed almost the exact same gimmick, same general premise as the what were they called? The circus.
Dead Moon
Yeah,
Circus?
Dead Moon Circus.
Yeah, they did kind of have a sort of a circus performer vibe to the bad guys in this movie also.
They had a very young children's entertainment.
Yeah. It kind of was this Pied Piper scheme where they're stealing children, and so of course Chibiusa gets caught up in it, and unfortunately there's
Chibiusa falls for a silver-haired pretty boy with a name that begins with P.
Yeah, that's See, this is my problem with the Super S series in general. Is I think there's way too much focus on Chibiusa, and I don't like the little Pegasus kid. And this is the little Pegasus kid 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, does she get herself some furry boys.
Yeah, and of course, I'm totally of the Chibiusa and Sailor Saturn camp, so I don't like seeing her with boys, but not in that Love Live way.
So it's a movie. Like, I don't regret seeing it.
Yeah.
It was still a fun time.
And the Outers show up mostly just to, throw special attacks at things.
Yeah, I feel they were way too underutilized.
For not showing up at all in the Super S series, and then, they'll be in the movie, and they just kind of go, we're here to throw special attacks at things. Yay, Space Sword Blaster. Aren't we cool?
Yeah, like, I did notice that there were more visual... They had better action in this one.
Yeah.
Like, there was, they definitely were doing a little bit more with their special attacks and things.
Yeah.
And the actual animation was, again, like a little bit better step up, but not a huge step up, and the storyline wasn't nearly as good.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing technically wrong with the film. Like, in terms, that's actually pretty well put together, but in terms of story, it's...
There was an event for every Sailor Scout to throw her 2 special attacks.
Yeah.
There was an event for Sailor Moon to go, I'm going to do the thing, and for everybody to shout out, no, Sailor Moon, you'll die!
No, that didn't happen.
Didn't it, though?
No. That was what's weird about this one.
Oh.
But it did
I was going to get down to the spoiler section, though. Yeah. So let's pause. We're going to take a break.
Well, but it did have the requisite Tuxedo Mask shows up to distract the monster that gets his butt kicked.
Yes, it did have that.
But he does actually get to show up. Like, and actually feel like he's actually doing something.
Yes.
Like, this one he actually got to get a lick or two in.
Yeah.
And he got beat up real good, but he actually just got beat up with it. He actually got in physically with it. And it was like, oh, he's almost competent in this one.
He temporarily forgot he's just a guy in a tuxedo, and it's very nebulous if he has any powers at all in this version.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with spoilers, such as they are, and then questions from people like you. We'll be right back. Alright, so we're about to spoil these movies.
They're
more
25 years old.
So the first 2 movies, R and S, near the end of it, Sailor Moon busts out the silver and crystal, and both times we're like, no! Don't use it! You'll die!
Statistically, this has to kill you eventually.
No, Sailor Moon, if you use the silver crystal, you'll die!
And she's like, no, I'm still doing it. You can't stop me. Here we go. And in the second one, the power of love somehow saves her. But no, in the first one, she dies. Or she gets real close. And except at the very last moment, Flower Boy flies in and goes, here, Mamoru, here's my life force. Give it to her and she'll live. And so he's like, all right, here we go. And he's like, yes, my life powers Sailor Moon now. I am best boyfriend. Mamoru's boyfriend. Ow! As he backflips back into space.
Yep, that's pretty much what happens.
I think that's the moment Ikuhara approves of Usagi and Mamoru being together because she's now powered by Flower Boy. Secretly.
Yeah, that works. That checks.
Yeah.
But in the third one, she just busts it out. Everyone's like, Yay! Sailor Moon! Yay for her! Let's give her our energies. And then she wins. Like I'm like, nothing about how she's gonna die because she busts out the magical moon thing.
Can we mention where they're kind of like half transformed, half untransformed? How awkward all their poses are.
Yeah, there's the ribbons.
Yeah,
flowing out.
They're just like in some really awkward poses. But I don't know. It's like, okay, it's not all gold, It's
it's.
I mean, you can only draw people sitting on the ground so many ways before you start having to get a little weird to make sure no one is sitting the same way. But
also something else that that Doug reminded me of during when we finished watching the movie as we're driving home. That all these kids were being flown on these airships powered by these fairies.
They killed the fairies during the course of the movie. Now, at the end of the movie, you are left to before you can even go. Wait, what about all those kids that they kidnapped as the setup for the movie? It shows them like boarding on, like going from their dream coffins back onto the ships, and the ships like starting to sail out. Who's controlling those ships? Who's controlling those ships? Also, never mind that it also took like multiple like trips back and forth to get all those children. I'm just accepting that. I'm just accepting that somehow these three ships, which before took multiple like trips to carry all these children, are somehow able to fit all these children back onto themselves. Okay, but who's flying these things?
It's kind of that's
I accept that at the very end, like, as Sailor Moon and Chibiusa are saying goodbye to the one fairy boy who, like, turned good as part of the movie and is now Chibiusa's boyfriend.
For the duration of the movie.
Until he's promptly forgotten.
Until he's promptly forgotten and never existed in canon. But for the duration of the movie, he's now Chibiusa's boyfriend. And he's who got Sailor Moon and Chibiusa safely to shore, but as he's flying off, like freed from whatever shackles it was that that Sailor Black Hole had him under.
No, she was using, was it the Black Dream Hole?
Yeah, the Black
which is a
Dream
terrible
Hole.
Name for anything. Never call your thing the Black Dream Hole. Never end anything in
Basil,
hole.
You don't like the Black Dream Hole?
Do you?
I love the Black Dream Hole.
Well, good for you.
Put it in your Black Dream Hole.
Yeah, I don't even remember the villain's name in that one.
It's something dumb, but what...
I mean, it was basically a recycled Queen Helenia anyways.
Well, I think it was Badadia?
Yeah.
I think it was Lady Badadia.
But, I mean, she really was just basically...
Like, Bad was the first part of her name. That's what I remember, is that literally Bad was the first part of her name. But she was basically Sailor Black Hole.
Sailor Black Hole.
Well, no, if you looked at her costume, like, her costume actually was a modified Sailor Furuku uniform. And it fits thematically with, in the fifth season of Sailor Moon. Is that Sailor Moon Eternity?
Sailor Moon, Sailor Star.
Yeah, it's Stars, like, the bad guy is Sailor Universe.
Well, Sailor Galaxia.
Yeah, Sailor Galaxia.
But yeah, all the bad guys are sailors themselves, they're space sailors. Except, although she's Galaxia, everyone else kind of abandons the, like, are like metal and animal combinations, or, it's like...
Well,
Sailor Moon is clearly very pro-furry.
Yeah.
I mean, again... Yes, Chibiusa's got, a Pegasus boyfriend, a birdie boyfriend. Clearly that is, she brings all the furry boys to the yard.
And Luna's not, above a little cross-species experimentation, as it turns out.
Well,
the real bad guy is Sailor Black Hole and her Black Dream Hole. that is threatening to consume the entire world between her loins.
She just wants to put that world in her hole.
Yep.
There's nothing metaphorical here. Like, I think there isn't. I think this is all just a terrible accident.
But, man, yeah, but going back to previous point, poor Luna, and she just wants to get with this astronomer, but she can't because she's, quote, just a cat.
A magical talking cat who's not only super smart, but possibly immortal.
Yeah.
The entire time she's like, I wish I could talk to him or something. I'm like, you can, just go.
Just go talk to him.
Just talk to him. In fact, she almost does at one point. She goes, "Oop, I can't. I have to go meow."
Meow.
Until the very end where Sailor Moon's like, use crystal power. Okay, while I'm doing that, all right, Luna, now you're like human for like, I don't know, 2 minutes? Is that all you need? 2 minutes?
It's like she goes on this completely unrelated tirade to the snow bad guy, defeats the snow bad guy, and then just, while she's wishing for stuff, she also wishes that her cat could be a human.
If I remember the actual manga story, like the manga story, if I remember, is more just Luna falls in love with the astronomer guy and gets turned into a human temporarily as like a New Year's present or something. And it's like, there's hardly a plot about a monster trying to destroy the world, It's like, no, this is about, like, Luna, go get you some of that,
Yeah, like, Sailor Moon makes a Sailor Moon wish.
Yeah.
To turn Luna temporarily into the finest piece of ass in that entire show.
Also, because it's an Naoko Takeuchi design probably, and it's more closely adapted than most of the Sailor's outfits in the original animated series.
She also looks like an adult.
Yeah.
Even though I've heard that she's supposed to look younger than Usagi, but I don't know.
She doesn't. She looks like an adult.
That'd be creepy, so let's not think that.
Well, I think, at least as far as the movie's concerned, it feels like she has been aged to match astronomer guy.
Yeah.
So, that's my
at least
headcanon anyways.
I mean, I know she's got kind of a younger sounding voice than the Japanese, but I weirdly still flash back to the Geek dub of Sailor Moon where
she's like this super proper old British lady.
Yeah. And that has colored my mental image of what she should be like as a human. So it's not exactly what we got, but it's like, Sailor Moon, just like, go get you some of that. It's like...
And then in the end when she goes, which her astronomer boyfriend goes back to like his astronaut girlfriend, and Luna is just like walks sadly back to the group. She looks up and she sees Artemis, and Artemis is like, "Oh yeah, baby, I'm still the only sentient immortal cat around."
And she's like, yeah, you are.
And by next movie, they have a kid.
Who's from the future? Just like Chibiusa. So we don't know exactly when they hooked up, but, it's foreordained.
Still the only sentient talking cat.
Yeah, I do recall in the show there's a little brief, but where did this talking cat come from? From the future. Oh, how could that be? Oh, well.
And I do think that as much as we have bagged on SuperS is my second favorite Moonlight Densetsu montage.
Yeah.
Because you get to see all the Sailor Scouts as cute little girls doing the cute little girl thing. So you get to see, Sailor Mercury, making, things, cookies with her mom, and Mars is beating up idiot boys. And my favorite part is when Venus, when she's playing around, acting out all the scenes from the TV.
Yeah.
Like, that is my... Man, I did not realize how much I actually liked Venus. I forgot how she constantly has... she's supposed to be the leader, right? So she's constantly has inspirational sayings that she says wrong every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I did feel like the one thing I have to say I felt bad about R was that R's big thing was like, at some point, Flower Boy, I forget his actual name, but we're calling him Flower Boy.
I think is it Fiore?
Fiore.
Fiore, yes. Yeah, because it sounds like flower.
Yeah, Flower Boy.
He's how no one understands how lonely he is. And so, of course, they montage to each girl and how they're lonely, and this and that. How he does, no one understands how he's feeling, and how all of them understand how he's feeling. But the big thing for Venus was that everyone's like, man, she kind of looks like Sailor V, and it's true because she is. But the big thing was that. What they don't say in the movies that Sailor V was a very overall lonely existence because she was the only Sailor Senshi for a while.
Yeah.
And she was constantly looking for the other ones, and she's been at it the longest time.
And if you read the manga, it's a little darker on average than Sailor Moon. Like, not super dark, it's still a little girl's comic, but, it's like she loses loved ones and, shit goes down.
So, all right. Let us get to some questions from people that are on the internet like you. All right, here we go. Let me get on my phone.
People on the internet. So,
all right, while I'm pulling that up, actually, what's your favorite moment we haven't talked about from the movies, Kevin?
Weirdly, the Super movie where the Tuxedo Mask shows up as Santa Claus.
Oh yeah.
He's floating in on a balloon with like a reindeer sled, like hung from a balloon as Santa Claus, like the whole ho 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 Merry Christmas. Then he like rips off the Santa costume and his tuxedo mask underneath, and he goes, "And Happy New Year!"
Oh yeah, in the Sailor R movie, Tuxedo Mask is just kind of hanging out like in a window shop,
and somehow gets from the window in the shop to a telephone pole.
Yeah,
like he's on top of like street lights, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't that high. How did that even? Whatever, Ikahara, you do you.
You missed the awkward shot of him shimmying on the pole.
No, he's straight up. It's a continuous shot.
And you saw like him flip in the air.
No, I think he just steps onto it. I don't even think there's anything dramatic. He just gets there. It was so weird. But, and then of course, again, the third one, he just sort of shows up in a tree.
Yeah.
And he almost seems like he's useful, but he's not.
Don't be deceived, Sailor Moon. That's not actually a donut. That makes sense in context. I love Tuxedo Mask.
God, you're right.
I love Tuxedo Mask. He's absolutely useless, but man, you just love him. I don't know.
But you know what? Props to Sailor Moon during the thing where they're trying to convince her to just hang out with Mamoru the whole time, and it flies back to it. She asks a question that he wouldn't answer the first time she asked, and this one's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just only here for you," and that's it. She's like, "You're not my Mamoru." See ya. I'm about to activate some Moon Crystal power and beat your ass. Alright. So, Tobias asks, what other anime series turned movies do you want to see get theatrical releases in the year of our Lord, 2018?
Utena.
Very on ice.
I don't think...
I am really looking forward to. I need to see if I've got that off. Is that Masaki Yuasa movie? Something night girl, something or other. It's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're actually getting it here, and it looks really cool. Like Walk On Girl or something like that. It's I don't know. I read the name of it, but
Walk
it looks.
On Girl, the night is short.
Yes. That one. I want to see that one. Hopefully I will see that one.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll AwesomeCast with that one. I think it's a Wednesday night. I think.
That would be excellent.
That doesn't count. I thought we were going to get to see that one, so I wasn't...
Well, I haven't really paid attention to what animes, TV shows have gotten movies lately, so
okay.
That's the one I've really been excited for, so that's what I'm using.
I would just like to see the Utena movie in theaters.
That would be cool.
Like
you're right on that one.
The Blu-ray looks great, by the way, if you did spring for the ridiculously pricey Utena box set.
Well, speaking of not that at all, at Bebop Shock, Austin, whose last name blanks on me, but he was one of our feature panelists at Hamicon. Anyways, did you see the screenings in English or Japanese? If English, what did you think of the new Viz dub? Okay, so we saw it in Japanese.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, there were plenty of previews of that dub before the movie started.
We did see R like a month ago done in the new Viz dub. Like this time it was in Japanese, but last time it was in English, and it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I think when Anna and I saw it in Atlanta, it was subbed.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I think y'all went later.
Yeah.
And it was dubbed. I wasn't there for that one. But yeah, no, the dub's fine. We are very, very pro Erica Mendez here on the OSMcast. She does Uranus, and she's very good at it. So yeah, totally down with the dub. Although I will say, I remember growing up as a young idiot teenager thinking Sailor Moon was stupid, and Kevin's like, "No, it's good, Basil. You're wrong. You're wrong." And eventually, I'm like, "Oh, maybe I'm right. Maybe he's right." And I remember my first time seeing these movies back in the day. I had a choir trip in college to New York City. And at Times Square, there was some random, like, video game store. And the back of it, they sold bootleg tapes. And that's where I bought the 3 Sailor Moon movies, Char's Counterattack, and End of Eva, because I thought we would never see them in the United States.
Well, to be fair, it took a while for some of that.
And I remember watching these movies, especially R, in Japanese, and going, oh, this is really good. Oh, I'm a snob. That's what it is. I needed this in Japanese. Okay, this makes total sense. And ever since then, 100% down Sailor Moon. Mostly, though, in Japanese.
Yeah.
Well, even Barry, when he was watching, Barry doesn't generally like this sort of thing. I believe when I showed him, when I showed him the Utena movie, he got actively angry that he had sat through that whole movie and watched it.
Yeah, he really does not like that movie for some reason.
So girly movies with a lot of symbology are not really Barry's thing.
No.
But Barry liked these movies. He didn't like love them or anything, but he sat there going, "Yeah, I can see how this is like heroin for little girls."
He did like S more than R though, so
yeah.
Take that as what you will.
I think he's just not an Ikuhara guy, and that's.
Which brings me to Alan Mendez is at History RT. His first question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how Kunihiko Ikuhara was Sailor Moon R the movie? I'll give it a solid 7.
I'll give it a solid R.
I was going to say 8 off the top of my head. I mean, it's not as Ikuhara as he can be, because they're not giving him free reign, but...
It's true,
because... It could have been more Ikuhara.
Because he pretty much wanted just a Uranus and Neptune movie for S.
Yeah, he pitched that idea for S, and they were like, no, let's not do that. And so he made Utena. So...
Yeah, I like to think, well, how about a TV show instead? And he went, okay, I'll do my own TV show. That sounds great. And it was. It was called Utena. It was amazing. Go watch it.
But it was pretty Ikuhara.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, if you've watched more than one Ikuhara show, you will see hallmarks.
All right, his second question is, how many furries did Sailor Moon S, the movie, give birth to?
Not as many as Wolf Children or Summer Wars.
I don't know that it gave birth to any furries, but I do think I do think the ones that already existed, it validated them.
Yeah. All right, and then Tobias comes in with a home stretch of a bunch of awesome ones. Of course, he is at Reverend_Tobias. Which Sailor Scout do you think makes the best burger?
I just kind of have to assume Jupiter.
Yeah, I'll have to go down Jupiter.
She's the cook.
I mean, Mars could get that, flame grilled action going on. All right, here's a good one. What crossover would you like to see Sailor Moon paired with?
Utena? I mean, Uranus and Neptune, Utena and Anthe on a drunken bender one Saturday night. And who knows where that night's going to go. That's my pitch.
I feel, short answer, Love Live. Long answer. I have not seen with Crystal anyways, any real good sets of, image songs. You know, one of my favorite things for the holidays is to listen to the Sailor Moon Christmas albums.
Yeah.
Because when Sailor Moon sings When the Saints Go Marching In, it's the best thing ever.
It kind of is.
Side note, Anna, use that song to end this episode with. I would love to see a new set. So what would be the best way to do it? Cross them over with Love Live. Get some Idol songs out, Sailor Moon Idol songs out of it.
Although season 3 of Crystal has like the multiple different endings themes, and one's like a Uranus and Neptune duet, one's like a Tuxedo Mask song, and one's like a Chibiusa and Hotaru thing.
I like to see it and Sailor Moon and Kakaishi.
Man,
that'd be interesting.
Haven't heard of Kakaishi in a while.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting at least.
Think about it. It would be super interesting.
It's true. Once again, OSMcast and Reverse Thieves were the only podcasts that exist. Remember, Kakaishi exists, and that you should totally get into it. Man, it's a good show and a good manga. All right. Pretend Usagi or any other scout is a JoJo. Describe their stand.
Am I cheating if I'm pretty sure Haruka's is called Lesbian Seagull?
All right, cool. That's fine. I feel like Venus should have some sort of like rock star or like something super glamorous. Like for hers, like Mars, I feel like her ravens should be like gigantic, like fire ravens.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, I just did 2. Kevin, you do 2.
I did one.
Fine, do one more.
Let's see.
Hotaru's Sailor Saturn's is a firefly, and it's like a giant firefly, and you don't think that's creepy until the light comes on and everything just goes black all around you.
I mean, it's pretty close to what she actually does, but Neptune's would be Holy Diver. And it would just, like, flood her surroundings. And just, like, doesn't matter if there's anything to hold in the water. The surroundings would just become flooded, and you'd be trapped underwater.
All right. Speaking of crossovers, everyone remembers the Super Nintendo beat-em-up Sailor Moon game. You do? I mean, theoretically, I've watched YouTube videos lately, and I've got it on my Super Analog NT. Anyways, if you were given the reins to do a Sailor Moon video game today, what kind would it be?
RPG. Party-based RPG. 4 to 6 members. 5. At least 5 members. So you can have the whole core group.
I don't know. I think Sailor Moon is actually pretty predisposed towards like a beat-em-up game.
That could work, certainly.
Because you got so many different characters. They've all got their different moves, but they're all kind of the same.
Sailor Moon announced for Smash Brothers.
That would be good. Now, of course, nowadays, if it's a modern video game, it would be by Namco Bandai or Omega Force. So it'd either A, be Dynasty Warriors, Sailor Moon, or Dynasty Senshi, Sailor Moon.
That would be interesting in some ways.
Or a One Piece / Naruto / Dragon Ball style fighting game, but that's more of a 3D arena style running around fighting game. Like, that would be the two. If they were actually made today, that's what we would get.
Yeah, I still would like an RPG.
That's because you really like RPGs, Kevin.
I mean, I actually do remember there was a Super NES RPG.
It was like a second story or after story or something like that.
It was. I'm going to be totally
Another
fair.
Story.
Yeah.
It's called Another Story.
I mean, totally fair. It was not a great RPG.
It was not bad.
But it was fine. And I liked the various little combination attacks you could unlock between the different characters, which did sort of reward you for mixing up your lineup a little bit.
One of these days, I think, if I ever can properly get into streaming like I want to, like, I've got a Super Analog NT right now, right? And it's easily enough jailbroken so that one could play ROMs of anything, Super Nintendo-wise.
Yeah.
So I want to get a hold of an Elgato, plug that into my Super Analog NT, and I want to play some of these old RPG games that have been fan translated that no one ever has really looked at before, unless you were around when they were getting fans translated.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. But just think, Sailor Moon RPG, but like with the depth of a Persona game.
So what would their personas be, Kevin?
Just
like their stands?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, the Persona guys are not shy about that. They admit that it's pretty much just, they were ripping off JoJo. And that's fine.
Well, in the end, as long as it's on Switch, I'm down.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, folks, I think we're good. So yeah, Sailor Moon, 3 movies. They're all watchable, but the first one especially so.
First one, most watchable.
All right, so 3 different movies, but as a set. How many awesomes out of awesome?
3 Outer Senshi getting coffee just for giggles awesome.
All right.
9 Sailor Senshi of awesome.
Out of awesome.
Out of awesome.
Yeah! I'm going to give it 1 Ikehara of a good time. Because it's Sailor Moon R and it's Ikehara.
R.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Out of awesome. Thanks, folks, for listening to the OSMcast. We're a production of the OSMcast. Produced and edited by Anna, my wonderful wife. Our theme song was made by DJ Inabito. You can find us at awesomcast.com. You can find our RSS feed, which you can plug into any podcatcher of your choice, including iTunes. One day we're going to get back on there. But please, we're on Facebook, technically, although we don't really use it anymore. If you do use it, let me know, and I'll make sure we start updating it again. But you can find us on Twitter at AwesomeCast. You can find myself on Twitter at It's Basil Time. You can find Kevin on Twitter at Twitless_Kevin. You cannot find Douglas on Twitter, but you can find Douglas on Redbubble.
Yeah.
Which is what, it's redbubble.com/Umitsu.
Yeah.
Where Douglas is an amazing artist. He's been doing some awesome designs. Get an awesome rainbow-themed phone case for your phone. It's all the colors that you would need in the rainbow, including the ones that make up the Sailor Senshi team. So yeah, we'll talk to you next time, here on the OSMcast. Okay, that did not work. I was hoping for an air horn, like a cool like boo 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 boo, but that did not. That did not go.
No, it didn't.
That did not work at all.
No.